Ravindra Babu.
Sir, good evening, sir. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity. Sir, we wholeheartedly support this bill for the one reason. It is the Andhra Pradesh government which has made a formal request to the union government to postpone this NEET examination, which is coming into immediate effect. Therefore, they have approached Supreme Court and ordinance has been issued. We really thank the government, union government, for accepting, accommodating not only Andhra Pradesh, but Tamil Nadu also made a similar request. So therefore, students have been given the chance to appear in the local examinations, and stories ended in very comic way, good way. But tragedy is that there are two things happened in India historically, which I feel maybe blunders or maybe beneficiary or deteriorate to the Indian socio-economic fabric. I feel there are two. One is privatization of the education institutions, that is selling the education by the private people. Another is making the deep money out of diseases, that is privatization of the medical health care. These are the two things happened, whether unfortunately, fortunately, in India, which we are not able to control. Now we have to bring controllers like MCI and other things, which we know what is the story of medical practitioners and medical hospitals which are running in the country. And as my colleagues also mentioned about the bribery part, the corruption part of the MCI, which has failed to control the rot in the medical system. It may be entirely not true, but to some extent it may be true. Sir, in the NEET examination, when it is conducted all over India, there are regional languages are also allowed, and after 12th class also it is allowed, and everybody can participate. And after conducting the examinations in the Telugu and other languages, one has to compulsorily go through English, because MBBS curriculum in English, that is anatomy, physiology, all these things are in English. So therefore, on the civil service lines, the same thing, this NEET also can be conducted, and it is one way to integrate the nation with a one stroke of examination. All people will write the same exam with the same syllabus. Syllabus need to be aligned. The NEET syllabus need to be aligned with all the SSC syllabus of the particular different states. Therefore, there won't be much of anomaly with the students' preparation for the exams. Sir, what I feel is a high time we should introduce one paper on moral and ethics. Doctors need to be told about ethics being followed. I will tell you a small example. When you go to a small hospital, a poor fellow, go to hospital to complain about headache, he will be asked to undergo CAT. If there is any problem in the left chest pain, he will be asked to undergo MRI. There is a data available, a reliable data, verifiable data. Because of medical and health care in India, 4 crore people are being reduced to poor and suffering from poverty. They are well off before health, before diseases. But disease gone, गरीबी आ गया है. बीमार गया तो गरीबी आ गया है. कम से कम दोनों दूर करने के लिए एक सिस्टम ऐसा अपना है, देश में हेल्थ भी मिल जाए, गरीब आदमी को मेडिकल हेल्थ भी नज़दीक में मिल जाए. और दिस अनस्क्रपुलस प्रैक्टिसेस बीइंग डन बाय द मेडिकल इंस्टीट्यूशंस, especially in the name of diagnostic aids, blood examinations, ultrasounds, MRIs, CAT scans, without necessity we are doing all these things. Therefore, I sincerely feel there is a need for introducing some paper on ethics. Sir, it is also a fact, medical practitioners brought under Consumer Protection Act. So they are facing a lot of legal problems, lot of compensations being claimed in the consumer courts. We also see a lot of hospitals being vandalized, lot of doctors being beaten by the patients when the patient dies because of criminal negligence or whatever it is. Therefore, some law paper also should be told to the medical students before entrance examination. One more thing, sir, there is a small joke, I'll tell you, my house, I think my colleagues will agree. There is one movie called Hon'ble MBBS. Sir, that is the one which opens the medical community eyes forever. That is, every disease is not the same as everybody cannot be the same. There are no two people alike in the world. There are 6 billion people in the present world, 6 billion people born and died. There are 12 billion people on record. None of the two people are alike. As two people are not alike, the diseases and physiology also cannot be the same. Physiology will be the same, pathology will be the same, but disease manifestations will be different because of this psychology. Therefore, there is a need to introduce a psychology paper also to integrate medical sciences with the psychological sciences. Why two people having the same bacteria in the body reacts differently? I have a tuberculosis in my lungs. Another fellow also may be having tuberculosis in the lungs. But one will have manifestation of the tuberculosis, another may not have tuberculosis. It is because of the nutritional standards also. Some people may not get any symptoms also because they are very brave. There are certain historians, there are so many achievers in the world who suffered from so many diseases, life-threatening diseases. Stephen Hawking, motor neuron disease, he is still alive. He got a Nobel Prize. How can you explain his disorder along with the achievements? We can only explain by understanding human psychology. Human psychology has to be understood before understanding anybody's pathology or a physiology. It is a high time we should introduce a curriculum of psychology in the medical sciences so that the integration of the human behavior can be understood along with the human pathology, because two diseases or one disease, the two persons will not be the same. Therefore, I suggest, sir, if at all if it is acceptable to minister, sir, psychology, ethics and law, for the valid reasons which I explained. Ethics, because there has to be unscrupulous practices should be curbed. Law, because so many doctors are being dragged to the courts for the Consumer Protection Act. And third, psychology, because psychology determines how a man suffers, how a prognosis will depend. Some people will come out of the fever within 2 days. Some people will suffer fever for 15 days. Some people die of fever without any reason also. Medical science is the only science which has not developed to its extent which is actually it should have been. There are 4 systems in the medical system, sir. One is inspection, percussion, palpation, auscultation. These are the 4 things. Means when a patient walks into doctor's room, one has to inspect how a patient is walking into the room. How palpation, one has to touch the body, what is happening. Palpation, percussion, we have to percuss the body where the actual fluids are there. There is auscultation, stethoscope. But how many doctors are doing this? None of them are doing. Whenever a patient walks into the room, he is immediately ordered blood picture, that picture, urine, bile salt, this, that and all. 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 rupees is the bill one has to bear for a small fever. As my colleague from Odisha, Mehta Sahab told, Odisha, the people are going from endemic area or epidemic area of certain diseases, should be made diagnosis very easily. But we always go to diagnostic tools, we always use machinery, we always use x-rays, to whose detriment and whose benefit, only God only knows. It is a commercialized, heavily commercialized. There should be some attempt to control this commercialization also. This privatization of the healthcare, privatization of education care, all these things should be controlled through government. The need should be a first step in order to inculcate the ethics of the government doctors, the ethics of the moralities, ethics of the psychology. All these things integrated, put together, will make a man a perfect human being and also a perfect doctor in India. Jai Hind, Jai Telugudesam.